Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the VA Tech Wabag Limited Q4 FY22 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone telephone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Rajiv Mittal, Chairman, Managing Director and Group CEO. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Dear friends, good evening. Let me first welcome you all to the earnings call post announcement of Q4 FY22 results of VA Tech Wabag Limited. Joining me today for this earnings call is Mr. Skanda Prasad Sitaraman, our group's CFO. We hope you all had a chance to go through the results update. I'm also joined today on this call by Mr. Sailesh Kumar, our CEO India Cluster, who has joined our leadership team at Wabag as a part of succession planning. Sailesh comes with an excellent experience in different sectors like power, oil and gas, fertilizers, cement and mining, in both EPC and EPCL business in leadership positions. In his new role at Wabag, Sailesh will gradually take over the India Cluster leadership from Pankaj by end of September 22. On the key order intake for this quarter, it's very heartening to note that with the concentrated effort by our capital projects team led by Mr. Vardarajan, we have signed a concession agreement through our wholly owned subsidiary, Ghaziabad Water Solutions Private Limited, with Ghaziabad Nagar Nigam for design, build and 15 years of operation and maintenance of a 40 MLD recycled and reused TTRO plant at Ghaziabad. The plant will use membrane technology, both the ultrafiltration followed by reverse osmosis, to further purify the treated sewage to an industrial usage quality. The 40 MLD TTRO plant, once commissioned, shall be the largest TTRO plant under the HAM scheme in India and expected to provide sustainable solutions for water need of the industries located in Sahibabad industrial area. Wabag has been at the forefront of a water recycle and reuse initiatives globally, and this order is yet another milestone for Wabag towards contributing to manufactured water for industries in Ghaziabad through advanced technology. We used to call it earlier as alternate sources of water. We thought we are manufacturing water from a wastewater, so it's an appropriate word, and that's the reason we are using manufactured water. Coming to some key business updates, at our Marafiq project in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to design and build a large-scale sewage treatment plant with a capacity of 120 MLD for Jubail Industrial City. Engineering, equipment delivery and installations are complete. Pre-commissioning and commissioning of the plant is underway, which we expect to be completed by end of H1 FY23. At our 300 MLD independent sewage treatment plant at New Jeddah Airport in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which is being built with the state-of-art technology, Nereda. Equipment delivery is currently underway. Installation activities have commenced, and plant is expected to start pre-commissioning activities towards end of FY23. In our Zarat project, seawater reverse osmosis plant of 50 MLD capacity, expandable to 100 MLD, being executed for Sonet in Tunisia. Major equipment deliveries are complete. Mechanical and piping installations is currently underway. The project is progressing towards the start of pre-commissioning by end of Q3 FY23. As you are aware, we secured an engineering and procurement order worth $165 million, which is about 1,200 crores Indian rupee, from Amur Gas Chemical Complex LLC in Russia in H1 FY22. AGCC is a joint venture of Sibur Holding Russia and China Petroleum and Chemical Corporation, which is also called as Sinopec China. Owing to the current geopolitical uncertainty in the region, customer has communicated a suspension of further activities of the project in April 2022. We are in regular discussion with the customer to periodically evaluate the situation and await resumption of work. Ordering activities started assuming pace both in India and internationally. We will continue our focus on technology-driven international orders and enhancing our presence in the industrial water treatment space, while continuing our delivery of best-in-class municipal water solutions. We are confident that Wabag will continue to remain a front runner in the oil and gas segment, recycle and reuse of water, and desalination solutions with our marquee references across the world. In our 187 MLD STP being built in Bali, Baranagar, and Arupara at Kolkata for KMDA under the HAM model, we are halfway in the project execution phase and the project is progressing well. Basic detail engineering is complete and equipment deliveries have commenced. Focusing on completion of projects has been our priority, and in this line, in Q4 FY22, we have completed commissioning of 30 MLD desalination plant in Mangalore, built for MRPL, completed commissioning of Cuttack 2 STP in Odisha, built for OWSSB, completed the raw water and RODM plant built for HMEL at Bhatinda. In line with our safety focus across the group, I'm happy to inform you that in our EXIM-funded Polgavela project in Sri Lanka, we have completed 5 million man-hours, safe man-hours. The project has also partially commissioned and we are expecting to finish the full project within this fiscal year. ESG has been at the heart of our business and sustainability has been the theme. Wabag has been ensuring water security across the world, both for municipal and industrial clients, with our reference plants for recycle and reuse of water, which has been helping reduction of groundwater depletion. Our desalination plant, which have provided water for potable and industrial use. Our total resource recovery model plant, which ensured that no resource that comes into the plant is wasted and makes sewage as a resource rather than a liability, and green energy focus by using biogas generated in a plant to power the sewage treatment plant operation and also producing bio-CNG. We have consistently demonstrated our commitment to sustainability and environment. At Wabag, as we informed earlier, we are progressing our ESG assessment and benchmarking process with the help of subject matter experts. Wabag, with its commitment to technology and sustainability, is well poised to continue growing profitably and enhancing the global leadership position. While Skanda will take you While Skanda will take you through the financial highlights in detail, I would like to highlight the performance metrics of the core business for FY22. Core EBITDA for the year stood at 10.4% against a reported EBITDA of 8.3%. Our margins have improved year over year despite material price increase and cost headwinds. Core PAT for the year stood at 6% against a reported PAT of 4.4%. Return on capital employed of the core business stood at 21.5%. Net working capital days at the core business level stood at 56 days for the year. Our core business, which is the water business, remains intact and continues to grow profitably. I'm extremely happy to inform you that in line with our commitments, Wabag continued to remain net cash positive, and generated positive operational cash this year as well, reflecting our focus on cash. With high quality of order book of over 10,000 crores and a strong order pipeline visibility, we are confident of continuing to generate value for our stakeholders in our growth story in the years to come. I would like to express my sincere thanks to our direct and indirect employees and all the stakeholders, including the customers, suppliers, investors, and bank, for their continued support, especially during this pandemic times. Before we move into the financial highlights, I will now request Shailesh to say a few words. Over to you, Shailesh.
Thank you, Mr. Mittal, for this opportunity to speak to our stakeholders. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a pleasure to introduce myself to all of you and be part of senior leadership at Wabag. First of all, my sincere thanks to the group management and board of directors for having reposed faith in me to deliver this important responsibility. In the last couple of months at Wabag, I have had the opportunity to meet our fellow Wabagites, and I have been enthused by their determination and purpose in pursuing organization vision, sustainable solution for a better life. I'm extremely happy to be working with a high-octane team who are focused on making the world a better place to live. I've worked with Indian and Fortune 500 companies in EPC, EPCM, and utility business space in diverse sectors like power, oil and gas, fertilizer, cement, and mining for the last 29 years. In my earlier organizations, my span of control ranged across projects in India, Middle East, Sub-Saharan African area, and Southeast Asian regions. Now, I'm extremely elated to be part of an Indian multinational organization focused on sustainability with technology, with business operations spread over 25 countries across 4 continents. At Wabag, I see passion for technology, focus on water security, and vision for future of water. My priorities for Indian cluster would be to take forward the successes already achieved and build greater operational excellence into our processes to deliver projects on time, within cost, and at optimal quality. Last but not the least, I take this opportunity to thank Mr. Pankaj Sachdeva for having led the Indian cluster extremely well over the last 5 years and building an efficient and motivated team. This has set a wonderful platform for me to grow the cluster to greater heights and successes. I would be taking over the responsibility from him over the next few months. Looking forward to more successes and celebrations at Wabag. Thank you all. Over to you, Mr. Mittal.
Thank you, Sailesh. I'm sure you will take the India cluster and Wabag to a greater height and successes. At this moment, I will also take the opportunity to express my sincere thanks and appreciation to Mr. Pankaj Sachdeva, who has over the last 5 years provided stellar leadership to the cluster and delivered successful order intake and projects. I would now request Mr. Kandak Kumar to take you through the financial highlights for the quarter and FY22. Over to you, Kandak.
Thank you, Mr. Mittal. Good evening, friends. Trust you had an opportunity to look at the results update presentation as circulated and uploaded on our website. Let me take you through the key financial highlights for the quarter and year ended 31st March 2022. Our consolidated total income stood at rupees 3,012 crores, up by 6% year over year. On standalone basis, total income was rupees 2,171 crores, up by 17% year over year. The consolidated EBITDA for the period stood at rupees 248 crores, which was up by about 14% year over year, and the standalone EBITDA for the period stood at rupees 192 crores, which was up by about 13% year over year. We have delivered another year of profitable growth, which is our PAT growing faster than the top line. The profit after tax attributable to owners stands at rupees 132 crores on consolidated basis, up by about 20% year over year. On a standalone basis, the profit after tax stood at rupees 92 crores, up by about 26% year over year. As already highlighted by Mr. Mittal on the core metrics, core EBITDA stood at 10.4%, double-digit EBITDA margins as we have been indicating over our interactions earlier. Core PAT stood at 6%, demonstrating our control over finance cost through constant cash and debt management focus. Core return on capital employed, that is ROCE, was 21.5%, in line with our asset-light model and technology-focused approach. Core net working capital days stood at 56 days as a result of effective and expedited project execution. With our continued cash management focus, we exhibited a turnaround to net cash position in the last year. We are happy to inform that we continue this trend into FY22 as well, with a net cash position of rupees 10 crores as at the end of this year. Also, our operational cash flow generation for the year ended 31st March 2022 stands at rupees 12 crore positive. Our investing activities have primarily been on funding the contributions of equity to our HAM SPV established for the KMDA Howrah project. On the balance sheet side, our net working capital has improved from rupees 742 crores as at the end of FY21 to 713 crores as at the end of FY22 in absolute terms. While we have reduced the working capital base, we have also reduced the working capital days from 97 days as of March 2021 to 88 days as of March 2022. Our trade receivables have also reduced year over year despite growth in top line, signifying better invoicing and collection turnover. Our trade payable days reduced year over year owing to deployment of resources to expedite project execution, which is reflecting in the margins and top-line improvement in an environment of cost headwinds. Efficient execution and deployment of resources have helped us improve and maintain our key business parameters this year as well. We express our heartfelt thanks to our bankers, vendors, investors, fellow Wabagites, and all other stakeholders for the continued support extended to us. With this, we open the floor for question and answers.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may enter star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If your questions have been answered and you wish to withdraw yourself from the queue, you may enter star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. To ask a question, you may enter star and 1. We have the first question from the line of Priyankar Biswas from Nomura. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. My first question is, sir, like for the second half of this financial year, we have seen that our sales have declined YOY. Any reason? I mean, especially I'm seeing that the overseas sales are declining in particular. So what are the issues or any particular headwinds that we are facing?
Excuse me, this is the operator. Mr.
Hello.
Mehta, just wanted to check.
Yeah, sorry. We were on mute. Sorry. Thanks. I think regarding this top line, we have seen some slowdown towards the second half in some of the projects which we were executing. One we said was Russia, where we saw from February onwards, because of this geopolitical thing, the things have slowed down. But also some of the other projects in the Gulf region, we have seen some of them have slowed down in the progress because of not our issues, but on the client side. And we had to little ramp down our speed. So, but you have seen that we have grown on a year-on-year basis, and we see that with the order backlog we have a growth is assured in the coming year also. And this is also in our direction where we want to reduce our dependence on Q4. Because every year we have a huge Q4. So in fact, the first half we had put in a lot more effort to see that we achieve a substantial progress in the first half and not only depend on the Q4. That was also in the direction of our strategy to reduce our dependence on Q4.
Sir, following on that same question, so now let's say for a color into FY23, so understood that Russia, we may be facing some issues as of today. But you were saying that there was some slowdown in the Gulf countries. So are these behind us? And at least excluding the Russian project, should we see an accelerated or a step up in execution? I mean, on a YOY basis, let's say 1H FY22 versus 1H FY23. Can you give us a sense on that?
Of course, because these are all funded projects and we will have to catch up. In fact, our clients who are investing money will have to catch up to make sure that they meet the project schedule. So one would expect that they will not only push us but push themselves to catch up the momentum which was lost in the Q3. So we would expect that things will catch up and you will see this effect in the H1 of FY23.
Okay. Sir, adding on to that, so can you give us a status on some large-scale ordering opportunities that are available? So maybe like, let's say, on the Chennai desal or any other big orders that you see. And if you can give us some sense of what sort of revenue or order inflow growth we can expect in FY23. A ballpark range would be okay.
I think we definitely see a growth year in the coming year. With the kind of order backlog we have and also the order pipeline we have, we are definitely seeing a good order intake for FY23 also. This will be mainly international driven, which is in line with our strategy, and also towards the industrial sector. We are already well placed in few of the orders. We expect in next few weeks or month, we should be able to announce a few orders already. And this will give us enough order backlog to churn a good growth in the top line also. Now, most of these orders are in Middle East and in the CIS countries. We see a big opportunity in CIS countries, especially in the sanctions and all. A lot of US companies and Europe companies will not like to go there, and this is a big opportunity for us to increase our market share. And our focus will remain obviously on the recycle and desal, where we have a technology edge.
Sir, can you give us a sense of the Chennai desal? So what's the status now?
I think it's very close to submitting the bids. We have got a couple of extensions. I believe the last extension came a week, 10 days back. This is definitely will get submitted next month, in a couple of weeks, and after that we have to wait for the evaluation to be completed. I think this is definitely will be decided in FY23.
Okay, sir, that's all from my side. If any questions, I'll rejoin.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Kaushik Poddar from KB Capital Markets. Please go ahead.
Can you give a sense of the growth you are expecting? Of course, you are saying that there will be growth, but can you give a number as to what the growth will be?
If you see our past, we have always grown in the double digit, and going forward also, we assume we will continue to grow in that with a good order intake and corresponding top line growth. And we have always seen, we call it profitable growth, where our profits are higher than the top line growth. So this is something which we will continue for the years to come. That's the direction which the team has, and everybody is working towards that.
Okay. And just now you said that you are going for contracts in the CIS countries and all those things. Will that come in the way of sanction and all those things? Or is it only for the Russian contract?
Not at all. I think even on Russian contracts, only some sectors are under sanction. And this water sector is not under sanction.
Even in Russia, even if you get a contract in Russia, that's not under sanction, right? That's what you're saying?
Correct. But there are some European and US companies. They have taken a view that they will not work in Russia. But that is not under the sanction list.
Okay, that's more for ethical reason or whatever.
Correct.
Okay. And what about the raw materials and all these things? Recently, we see some softening in the prices. Does that help you in ratcheting up your margin?
See, when the prices were going up for last 1 year, and
right.
Not up, abnormally up, we have still been able to grow the margins. If the raw material prices have started coming down, definitely it will help the margin improvement.
And is it part of the contract, the raw material price, at least to some extent, say 50-60% or 60-70%?
Yeah, we have most of our Indian contracts We have an escalation formula. As you rightly said, at least 60-70% of our cost is covered by this, but the balance we have to take the hit.
And what about international contract? Does it have this raw material contract pass on? Raw material price pass on?
No, we don't, but we are lucky with the exchange rate being very favorable towards Indian rupee. So this has helped.
Okay.
Because
Thank you.
Nowadays, you must have noticed, we don't go for EPC jobs. We try to consciously reduce the construction portion. We focus on our technology, engineering, and procurement of key components. So this is also helping to improve the cash flow and margins.
Now, doesn't the procurement part has some material part element? I mean,
Yeah, definitely it has. But because it's a specialized procurement material, it does not have a direct impact. If the steel goes up by 30%, our material price goes up by 5-7%. Because the steel in that component is much less. Rest is all about technology, fabrication, labor component, which is not going up in the same ratio.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may enter star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Yogesh Patel from Suyog. Please go ahead.
हेलो.
Please go ahead,
Hi.
Mr. Patel.
या हिंदी आपको आता है ना?
Sorry?
हिंदी में मैं बात करूंगा तो चलेगा ना?
हाँ, हिंदी में बात करिए ना, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं.
हाँ, मेरा आंसर है, जवाब आंसर है कि आपने मतलब वो 2018 से डिविडेंड बंद कर दिया, तो मतलब उसके पीछे रीजन क्या है? मतलब इतना अच्छा कंपनी कर रहा है, इतना प्रॉफिट है, तो मतलब इन्वेस्टर के लिए आप सोच क्यों नहीं रहे कि थोड़ा सा डिविडेंड मतलब दे, 1-2 रुपया, 4 रुपया ना दे तो ठीक है, लेकिन थोड़ा सा तो दे. बहुत सी कंपनी अच्छी है तो डिविडेंड तो देती है. तो आपने बंद करने के पीछे रीजन क्या है और आप आगे से कब चालू करेंगे?
मनीष भाई, मैं बताता हूँ आपको. देखिए, एंड ऑफ द डे हमारा काम है आपकी वैल्यू बढ़ाना. वैल्यू बहुत चीजों में बढ़ती है. एक आपने जैसे कहा डिविडेंड से बढ़ती है. दूसरी कंपनी की शेयर वैल्यू, कंपनी की वैल्यूएशन से बढ़ती है. आपने देखा होगा 2018 से हमने ये हैम प्रोजेक्ट में पार्टिसिपेट करना चालू किया. तो नमामि गंगे क्लीन गंगा प्रोग्राम है हमारा, जो गंगा क्लीनिंग का प्रोग्राम है, उसमें हमने काम चालू किया. उसमें कुछ पैसे लगाने पड़ते हैं कंपनी के, क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट देती है 40% और बाकी आपको डेट लेना पड़ता है और कुछ इक्विटी डालनी पड़ती है. हम अपनी जो कंपनी है, हम हमेशा एसेट लाइट रहना चाहेंगे. इस बार भी हमने एसेट लाइट ही रहे हैं. तो हमने अपना एसेट मिनिमम रखा है, इक्विटी मिनिमम रखी है. पार्टनर ले आए और डेट लिया. IFC जैसे कंपनियां हैं वर्ल्ड बैंक की, उनसे डेट लिए. तो वो जो पैसे आपके पैसे हैं, हम डिविडेंड दे सकते हैं आपको, और या तो ये कंपनी वो प्रोजेक्ट में इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहे हैं जहां आपकी वैल्यू बहुत बढ़ेगी. बिकॉज ये आगे 15 साल तक एन्युटी इनकम आएगी, हर महीने इनकम आएगी एक बार अगर हम बना लेंगे. तो इसीलिए आपको लगा होगा पिछले 3 साल से हमने डिविडेंड बंद कर दिया. बट ये आप ही के पैसे हैं जो हमने नमामि गंगे प्रोग्राम में लगाए हैं. आप 2 साल सब्र कीजिए, ये प्रोजेक्ट्स चलेंगे और फिर हर साल अच्छी इनकम होगी इसमें. तो ये आप ही की कंपनी है, जो हम सोचते हैं कि आपके लिए फायदेमंद होगा वैसे हम डिसीजन लेते हैं.
हाँ, वो सही बात है, लेकिन अभी आपके EPS के हिसाब से आपका शेयर का प्राइस मतलब 600-700 रुपया होना चाहिए, लेकिन वो 200-250 ही के 300 के आसपास ही घूम रहा है. तो मतलब उसमें क्यों कोई कुछ नहीं आ रहा है, मतलब बाइंग, मतलब कोई बड़ा इन्वेस्टर का एंट्री तो है. राकेश झुंझुनवाला का आपने कुछ 10% दिया स्टेक, उसको आपने 300 रुपया प्राइस चल रहा था और उसने 165 में कुछ दिया. तो उसके
आपको देखिए, ये तो सेबी का फॉर्मूला है, कोई 1 रुपया भी कम नहीं दे सकता. ये तो मेरे ख्याल आपको जानकारी है. जो सेबी का फॉर्मूला है उसी के हिसाब से आपको भी कल आना है, आप भी ऐसे आ सकते हैं. जो हम सेबी का पिछले 2 वीक का एवरेज प्राइस है उसके हिसाब से ही आना है। तो प्राइस हमने डिसाइड करते हैं, आपने डिसाइड करते हैं, तो सेबी डिसाइड करती है।
वो समझ रहा हूँ मैं, लेकिन मार्केट में 300 के आसपास प्राइस चल रहा था और आपने उसको राकेश जी को 165 में दिया, तो मतलब इन्वेस्टर को भी आपको ने थोड़ा थोड़ा दिया होता, जिसके पास शेयर है तो उसको भी अच्छा लगता ना कि हमको भी नीचे प्राइस पे मिला।
आपको मिलेंगे, जब अगली बार आपको भी मौका मिलेगा, क्यों नहीं, आप आइए। बट ये तो ऐसा है ना, जब उन्होंने डील की तब प्राइस था, उसके बाद अगर बढ़ गया क्योंकि राकेश भाई के नाम पे मार्केट बढ़ गई तो कंपनी की कोई गलती नहीं है ना, कल कम भी हो सकता था, बट हमारा प्राइस तो फिक्स था ना।
हाँ वो तो है, वो मतलब 10% स्टेक अच्छा है तो अच्छी बात है मतलब।
Sorry to interrupt, sir. This is the operator. Mr. Patel, you'll have to come back in the queue.
हाँ हाँ कोई बात नहीं, मेरा जो 2 आंसर था वो खत्म हो गया, लेकिन मैं इतना लास्ट में कहना चाहता हूँ कि मतलब आप इन्वेस्टर की मतलब वैल्यू बढ़े उतना ऐसा कुछ करो। मतलब अभी आपका ईपीएस कितना है अभी? ये 21 दिखा रहा है ना रियल? ईपीएस कितना है अभी आपका पूरे साल का?
हाँ 21 दिखा रहा है, सही बोला मनीष जी आपने।
21 दिखा रहा है, तो 21 के हिसाब से प्राइस आपका 600-700 होना चाहिए।
आपके हाथ में है, आप कर सकते हैं।
हाँ वो तो मेरे, हम तो छोटे इन्वेस्टर है, बहुत छोटे हैं, मतलब हम कोई बड़े इन्वेस्टर नहीं है।
अगर आपका भरोसा है कंपनी पे, आप आए हैं कॉल पे हमसे बात कर रहे हैं, आई एम श्योर बाकी इन्वेस्टर्स का भी भरोसा है।
हाँ हाँ हाँ
सब्र रखिए, ठीक डायरेक्शन में है कंपनी।
हाँ तो अच्छी बात है। मतलब वो कुछ रशिया का कुछ प्रॉब्लम था, वो सॉल्यूशन हो गया? रशिया का कुछ था?
अभी चल रहा है, अभी तक नहीं हुआ, बट हम डेफिनेटली अगले कॉल में आपको अपडेट देंगे।
ओके ओके, थैंक यू थैंक यू
थैंक यू।
थैंक यू।
Sir. We will move to the next question from the line of Dhananjay Mishra from Sunidhi Securities. Please go ahead. Mr. Dhananjay Mishra, your line has been unmuted. Please proceed. If you have muted the line from your end, please unmute and speak.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Yeah. So congrats on strong set of number, and I hope next year cash flow, it will also reflect in better cash flow. Just wanted to know the status of Genco in terms of what kind of provision we have done in this year related to Genco project, and also what is the actual money received from AP Genco, if at all we have received any money from AP Genco?
Yeah, towards the end of the year in the H2, they have given us a limited notice to restart the project. Okay. And we have restarted the project. So about 25-30 crores of invoicing we have done. 15-20 crores of money we have received in the last few months. And the work is progressing. I think the first part which they have given us a clearance, in next 3 months we'll complete that, and they are paying us regularly for whatever work we are doing. And regarding your question on provision, you know, as a company we have a ECL policy where we provide for delay and the default. We have provided 60 crores of delay and default on AP Genco.
AP Genco plus TS Genco put together?
Put together, exactly. Correct.
Okay. And with respect to Russia project, what is in which currency we are billing to this?
US dollar.
US dollar.
But it would have been good if you would be billing in rubles, because today ruble is the strongest currency in this world.
And since when it is on hold, this project?
April.
And before that, whatever billing we have done, we have received the money, or?
Yes, 100%. Not a single rupee is outstanding.
Okay. And second question with respect to if you can give some color on key states from where we can expect good orders like UP, MP, or in next year.
I think you know, and we have discussed this every time. Our focus is on multilaterally funded projects or central government funded projects in India. So we are not so much focused on state. We focus on projects which have a very firm funding commitment. And for that we do multilaterally funded projects and central government funded projects like Namami Gange and our Swachh Bharat mission and all this projects. And that is the reason we are very focused on desalination, reuse, recycle, river rejuvenation and Namami Gange. These are the areas which we will remain focused for the years to come.
Okay. And in terms of HAM equity contribution, what is the total commitment of equity contribution we have, and what is the amount already invested, and are we expecting any equity partner as well in this HAM project?
So, Sanjay, right now we have one HAM project which is effective and running, which is what Mr. Mittal mentioned during his speech, the KMDA Howrah project. And we have a partner there, which is Qatari Water, and this is a wholly owned subsidiary of Green Growth Equity Fund, which is a sovereign fund of the Indian government and the UK government. It is funded by debt from IFC Washington and Tata Cleantech. So the equity partner is Qatari Water, and we have invested 18 crores as of date, which is our equity commitment for this project. When the next projects start, accordingly, we will commit equity to those projects.
And what is the equity commitment next project, second project?
The second project would be somewhere around 7 to 10 crores range.
Okay. Okay, sir. That's all from my side.
That we will remain asset light, so our commitment will never be more. We'll always scout for equity partners who will invest majority equity. We will remain a minority equity partner.
Okay. Yeah, that's all from. I hope next year cash flow will be much better. That's what my assumption is. Thank you, sir.
We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Hiten Boricha from Joindre Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity. So most of the questions have been answered. I just missed one of your opening remarks. You just gave the revenue growth guidance. So can you please repeat it, sir?
Sorry, it was not a guidance. Somebody was asking, what is it you can give? I said in the past we have always grown in kind of double-digit growth, as you have seen. So we would definitely expect to grow in that range in the future also, unless there is some mishap happens like COVID or other things. But this company has always aimed to get into a double-digit growth, and we will continue to endeavor towards us.
Okay. With similar 8% kind of margin, right, sir?
Yeah. I think aim will be to improve the margin, as we said, because of industrial business, international business, and recently we have gone for EP business rather than EPC business. We should all see improvement in margins going forward.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. That was from my side.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Aditya Yadav from Transient Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, I'm audible.
Yes, please go ahead.
Good afternoon to the management team. Sir, if you could give us broad qualitative insights to what we need to do as a company to improve our margins, return ratios, and eventually cash flows. What's like your 2-3 year vision to improve our company's performance on these parameters?
It looks like a strategy rundown we'll have to give you.
Briefly, sir. Briefly would suffice.
We'll do that. I have no problem. In fact, I've been telling it not only in this call but in the previous calls also. See, we had in November 2020 a strategy workshop, and we came up with a strategy which was approved by our board. And the strategy consisted of that we have to improve the margin, we have to improve the valuation of the company. And for that, we decided to go for technology-based jobs rather than clear run-of-the-mill EPC jobs. We said we should go more for industrial jobs, more for service O&M jobs, more for international projects and EP projects. So these are the ones which we decided that we should go for, and board was very clear that it's okay if we miss out on a few projects, but we will not compromise on payment security. From there, it got derived that we will have to go for multilaterally funded projects and central government funded projects, or internationally for projects which are backed up by letters of credit. That has been our way forward for last 1.5 years. It's working well. If you see the quality of our order book today, it will more or less meet all this what I've told you, Aditya. And this will help us to grow whatever is said, EBITDA, margins, cash flow, and the valuation.
And so what do you feel? So like in the projects we are participating, you said now you have further streamlined your the kind of projects we are participating in, like you said, centrally funded and backed in a proper way, where you have a clear-cut technology advantage and those things like you mentioned. What do you feel about the pricing scenario? Is that improving? Is that bad? Or how do you see the pricing scenario for our company?
It's as bad it was always. I don't see it improving. It's getting only worse. That is the reason we don't compete in projects which are run-of-the-mill projects. We compete in higher end technology where the competition is limited and only few companies who have the technology will compete. So it's fine with us if we can not grow the top line, but we have to grow the bottom line.
Okay. Understood, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we move to the next question, we would like to remind participants to ask a question. You may enter star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Omkar, an investor. Please go ahead.
Sir, good evening, sir, and congratulations for good Q4 result. I have 2 questions. Quick update on TCGenco and TechPro, because regarding TechPro project, the company and TCGenco have challenged the same in the Supreme Court. So what is the current status for that 138 crores? And what is the status on TechPro, where you are expecting to recover due through national NCLT? So what is the status on these 2 projects, TCGenco and TechPro?
So, Omkar, we have been disclosing this in our notes to the results, and I will just elaborate on it.
Right. Quick update, right, sir.
TCGenco is concerned, we have completed the job in all respects. The commissioning is done. The plant is generating power. The PGTR is complete. So we have to just receive the money. And this is what is under a single person arbitration appointed by Supreme Court.
Right.
And we are expecting that this arbitration should get over, the legal timelines. It should get over as soon as possible in 6 months, 1 year, and we will be able to receive the money. And we are confident that our case is strong here, and at the end of arbitration, we should be able to receive the money. The second is about 69 crores, which is receivable from TechPro, which is in the nature of a daily money that is tax deducted by TechPro, not either remitted to the government, neither did they pay it to us. So this is in the nature of statutory dues which has to come to us. Here, we challenged the NCLT's resolution in NCLAT, which has been referred back to NCLT, and currently this is under hearing, and at any point in time we expect maybe next couple of hearings we expect a favorable judgment here. So in both these cases we are confident of recovering the money, and it is subject to legal timelines.
Understood, sir. Thanks for the update. And second question regarding Zika project, as sir said, this Zika project may awarded or announced by end of this financial year. So are we expecting this order in H1, H2, when the project that reward and announcement will take place for the Zika project?
Which you are talking about the JICA project?
JICA 400 MLD project. As of now, still that.
Yeah. I think, Concall, this, as I said, next month the bids will be submitted, and then we will have to wait for 3 to 6 months of evaluation. And I still expect that in this financial year, FY23, this project will be awarded.
Understood. So it will, the award for this project may take place in S2 of this financial year, right, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for the update. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may enter star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Sonali, an investor. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening, sir. Well, I was having a look at, companies in the lower rung in the same industry.
This is the operator. We are unable to hear you clearly, ma'am. If you could just increase the volume.
Can you hear me now? Is it better?
Ma'am, please
we'll
switch
try.
to your handset.
Yeah. So good evening, sir. So I was having a look at, companies in the lower rung, like around 100 to 300 crores companies. And one thing I noticed that their EBITDA margins are to the tune of around 12 to 15%. At the same time, when we look at our company, it has been usually around 8%. So can you throw some light on this, despite being the industry leader, why the margins are lower?
Sonali, I think this is where we wanted to properly contextualize the EBITDA margins because we have a core business which is purely the water business. And here you would have seen over the last few years, we have been in the closer to the double digit, and this year we have, as promised, delivered a 10.5% EBITDA. Number two, we have EP projects, we have EPC projects, and as you know, because of our asset-light approach and value-additive approach, we are focused on the technology part. So the construction part is basically a pass-through. So we have it in the top line, we have it in the cost. There is no margin built on that. So the percentage margins that you see as EBITDA is not a real reflection of where we deliver the value and this is because of the nature of the business, where it has to be a lump sum turnkey kind of contract in few regions that we have to take. And this is where we moved our strategy to more focus on technology-focused orders, international orders, industrial orders, and the EP segment to have better margins reflected, better cash flows reflected. And that is what over the last 2-3 years you would have seen. Our margins have been reflective of this. We have been consistently on a net cash positive, and we have also been generating positive operational cash flow.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Just one last thing. So is there any target margin that you foresee in coming 3 years?
See, we have always promised a double-digit EBITDA margin, and that is what we are working on. And this double-digit EBITDA will keep improving as we move up. And you very well know the economies of scale will kick in as we keep growing. And our endeavor will be to be on a double-digit EBITDA margin.
All right. Thank you so much.
And costs will also reduce as we move forward, and that will also help improving the margins.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, if you have a question, you may enter star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Manish Jain, an investor. Please go ahead. Mr. Jain. As there is no response, we will move to the next question. The next question is from the line of Puneet Agrawal, an investor. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Yeah. So my question is are you impacted in any way by the situation in Sri Lanka as well? Is there any financial risk involved or chances of bad debt increasing?
No, it's not at all because that's the reason this project is under buyer's credit where our money comes from Exim Bank of India. The work done is only certified by the local authorities and the bill is sent to Exim Bank of India in Mumbai, and we receive our direct US dollar payment from Exim Bank of India.
Okay. And how about the Russia project? Did you invest? Did you have any bank guarantees or anything invested, or it was just on papers? Have you started the project execution or no?
No, we have executed. We were executing it for the last 9 months, and we have received a good amount of money.
So you have received all the receivables on time, and you expect that.
They have been very good paymasters, excellent paymasters, I must say.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you. Participants, if you have a question, you may enter star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Ashit Koti, a retailer. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Just want to understand, sir, is the time Wabag took over the parent, the journey so far, with all its ups and downs, do we see the prime coming very fast, or it's still a long way off?
What comes? Prime. See, I think water industry is always a sunrise industry. That's how we treat this in our company. The growth of water industry will go for decades to come. If you are talking about a prime time for it, I think every year will be better than the previous year. So I think still the peak of water industry, at least for decades to come, we'll see it coming all the time. So I would say there's a long way to go. The prime time is yet to come, and growth is going to be continuous as we go along. Water is a precious resource. Let's understand, especially countries like us, which are developing countries, they have not given enough importance to water. We still do not consider this as an economic resource. So once we start considering this as an economic resource where the things have started and people have started using this, you will see a tremendous investment going into the water sector. The short answer is, prime time is yet to come.
And the purpose with which the parent was acquired, that has already been achieved.
You cannot say achieved. I think this is something we are achieving and will continue to achieve. See, what we acquired parent for? We acquired parent for the geographies. We acquired parent for the patents. We acquired parents for the references. We acquired parent for the experienced, knowledgeable people. We acquired parent for technology expertise of the people. So this is not having any deadline. This will continue to fuel our growth. So this is, I would say, have served our purpose till date, and it will continue to serve the purpose in the years to come.
When do you see the international business surpassing the Indian business?
Already. I'm just seeing the number. That's my feeling. Our rest of the world, you see our results. 65% of our top line comes from the rest of the world. 35% comes from India. You see our segmental revenues. 1,116 crores comes from India, and rest of the world comes 1,964. So it's already surpassed.
And do we plan to kind of towards working capital be dependent on the outside capital, or would raise capital?
No, not required. See, as you would know, your company Wabag, which you are a shareholder, I'm sure you will see this company even from its inception in 96, 97, then our listing in 2010. We have not gone to the market to raise capital. Whatever we have generated in our business, we have plowed back. It's the only one time we raised capital was a couple of years back where Rakesh Jhunjhunwala and team brought in some 120 crores only. Even when we did IPO, the company took only 125 crores because as per the SEBI, we had to take a minimum. Rest all we gave exit to the private equity companies. But we have never raised capital, and I don't think we have an intent to raise too much capital unless it is in the benefit of the shareholders. We don't want to dilute our shareholders. And whatever we have earned, that's the money we have plowed back into the business and grown the business over the last 25 years.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ashit.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may enter star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Manoj from Geometric. Please go ahead.
Well, congratulations on good sets of number in this challenging environment. I have 2 questions.
Operator, we are unable to hear you clearly. If you could switch to your handset.
Sir, congratulations on good set of number in this challenging environment. I have 2 questions. I am putting them together. Can you throw some light on
Your line is not so good, Manoj.
Can you throw some light on the green hydrogen opportunities?
Fantastic. See, as a green company into sustainability, we talked about ESG. This is right in our domain area. We have started some work, but for it to mature and take some shape and we will have some information to share, it will take maybe a few years. But I can tell you, your company is very much focused on it, and we are keeping an eye on the development in the global market.
Okay. Second, we know that water has a great longevity as a sector, but we have some strict criteria in which areas we will bid the project. With these criteria, can we grow 20-25% over a period of time, or it will be around 10, 12, 15%?
As of now, if we grow, you are talking about top line. As I told one of our friends earlier on, I don't mind if I grow 10-12% on the top line, but I will definitely grow much more than in the bottom line. And that is what we are endeavoring to do. Our bottom line and cash flows are under focus, and that we will grow definitely.
Okay. Thank you and best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Kharija Mantri from Sharekhan. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Am I audible?
Sorry, we can't hear you.
Yeah. Let me just wait. Am I audible now? Hello?
Better.
Okay. So, sir, I may sound repetitive. Actually, there was some problem with the network at my end. So, I just wanted to know if you have provided any guidance for order inflow for FY23.
See, as we are growing, our top line is growing, and we have a target of achieving at least 3 times of our revenue in our order book. And that we are sure we can maintain that or surpass that. But at least we should have 3 times of our revenue as our order book.
Okay. So, in FY22, we had an order inflow of about 3,600 crores. So, on a ballpark basis, we should be able to achieve that at least.
Yeah.
In the next year as well.
It's going to be better than my prediction.
Okay, sir. I wanted to understand more about this key framework contracts. So there are 2 contracts under this. Key framework contracts that the way you have classified your order book.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So in key framework contracts, these are the 2 orders from Libya, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So I just wanted to know the status of these orders and the receivables from these 2 orders particularly.
Khadija, this has been the way we report. Wherever we have signed contracts and where it is not yet effective because of LCs not being opened, especially in geographies like Libya. We work only on payment security. We classify them as framework contracts. So the contracts are signed, but they are not yet effective. Bomba is a recent contract which we signed. We are awaiting the LC to be opened. Once that is opened, this will move into the order intake and into execution. Libya STP is a little older, so that will happen after the Bomba intake is done. So at this, because it is a water plant. So at this point in time, neither of these contracts have started execution, so there are no receivables as such on this project.
Okay, sir, I understand. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, due to time constraints, that was the last question. I would like to hand the floor back to Mr. Mittal for closing comments. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you everyone for your participation in our Q4 FY22 earnings call. We have uploaded the analyst presentation in our website. In case you have any further queries, you can get in touch with Stellar IR Advisors, our investor relation advisor based in Mumbai, or you can feel free to get in touch with us directly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, members of the management. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of VA Tech Wabag Limited, that concludes this conference call. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines. Thank you.